Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're talking about What If, Episode 3. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. My name is Brent Casina. As always, I am your host. And today we're talking about What If, Episode 3, entitled What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes? So, well, welcome to Peak What If, folks. I talked a little bit last week about how, I wish they would get a little wacky with the comics and stuff, and they didn't really do that this time. But this definitely feels more like an issue of what if comic books, because sometimes you get some really interesting ones and good ones, like we had in the first episode. Sometimes you get some so-so ones, and sometimes you get kind of duds like this episode here on What If. So the basic premise for this is, what happens to the Marvel Universe if the Avengers are never assembled or even have the chance to become the heroes that we saw them to be during Phase 1? So you have people taken out, Tony Stark, Clint Barton, Thor, Natasha Romanoff, Hulk. All these guys get taken off the board. Meanwhile, instead of Fury's big week, which was I want to say it was like a spin-off comic series that they kind of established. All these Phase 1 movies took place within 1 week, and the Avengers came together very quickly. Instead of Fury's big week, you kind of have Fury's crappy week, where one after another, all his plans for the Avengers seem to fall apart, and we find out the culprit is one of the original Avengers. Which, when we saw Ant-Man, we found out that Hank Pym was there. So Hank Pym's going after the Avengers because Hope Van Dyne died. Now, if you recall, Hope Van Dyne is played by Emmanuelle Lilly. I think it's her name, the actress's name, right? The girl from Lost. And Evangeline Lilly. See, I was close. Evangeline Lilly. But I don't remember them establishing she was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in those movies. Like, I know she's trained and stuff, but I don't remember them referencing that she was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, in this universe, she was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and died 2 years before the events of this episode happened. And Hank Pym goes crazy, changes the Ant-Man suit to be more like Yellow Jacket, and goes and takes the Avengers kind of off the board before they can even stand up and get running, He causes Clint Barton to shoot Thor with an arrow, which kills this kind of powerless Odinson, because it's right before he touches the hammer in Thor 1, and just kills him. I was like, man, I didn't realize he was like that powerless right before then. So yeah, it's an interesting episode, but it is a great episode or a fun episode. I certainly don't think so. I think that this really is one of those episodes of What If, or like the comic books, where you're like, man, this I can throw this one away. I will never reread this again. I will never rewatch it again. There's nothing here other than some weird thing with Hank Pym. And honestly, this, for being a What If TV show, this does feel like a What If comic, because there are so many What If comics we were reading it, and you're going, like, you're flipping, you're going, where's this going? Where's this going? Where's this going? How is this happening? And then they reveal the writer's big idea for, here's the What If moment, and you go, well, that's fucking lame. Like, this whole thing with Yellow Jacket, Hank Pym coming and killing everybody, that was really lame. I don't know why that got greenlit, and they were like, yeah, let's do that. This certainly had the most voice actors of, I don't know about the most, but it had a lot of Marvel voice actors. The weird thing with this show, though, I feel like, if you're going to have people come back and reprise their roles as their characters, it's like, I don't know that you could get everyone to come back. Maybe they're building that into their contracts now, as they sign people, that you're going to be contracted to do, 3 episodes of What If. One of them is going to be featuring your character primarily, and then 3 cameos, kind of thing. Like, that's what I would build into this contract if I'm going to do more seasons of What If. Because then you end up in these weird situations like this episode, where you have people coming back and people who don't come back, who are still major characters in the episode, that, you're like, why is this not, I mean, obviously we know why uh, Scarlett Johansson didn't come back to do the voiceover work. She's pissed off at Disney. She's suing Disney right now for putting Black Widow on Disney Plus Premier Access. So you have Lake Bell filling in for her, and she's doing like the low ScarJo breathless voice thing that Scarlett Johansson did so well in the movie Her, um, which if you haven't seen, go check it out. It's a phenomenal movie. But you have her next to Sam Jackson, who came back to do Nick Fury in this episode. Like, he's the main character of this whole episode. He's doing the Sam Jackson thing. He's okay. He's not great. You know, he's not. There's nothing for him, to be funny in or anything like in this episode. The way we were kind of laughing in the T'Challa episode last week with him as Star Lord, but it's just a glaring omission when you have one character who came back, or one actor who came back to voice their character, and then another character whose actor didn't come back. You also have this weird, I thought this was really weird. Coulson is in this episode, and while I loved Coulson in the movies, I did watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the first 3 seasons, and then I stopped. I know it went on for many more after that. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't that good. It got really weird at some point. But I'm like, really? Phil Coulson, who's Clark Gregg is the actor. I have the credits up over here on the TV. I paused it. Clark Gregg is the actor playing Phil Coulson. I know he jumped to come back. That's fine. But I'm like, really? After Marvel shoved your show aside and said we're not part of the Marvel universe, and kind of ignored you and everything that you did after, season 2 when Hydra came out? Like, you're going to come back? I guess you really are a Marvel fan. Like, you're a team player, Coulson. Like, you deserve more. And you always did. But, man, I just thought it was funny that he came back. But Scarlett Johansson's like, no. Or even, you got Mark Ruffalo coming back, but you didn't. Betsy Ross is not played by Liv Tyler. She's played by a different actress. You got General Ross, even though he was two seconds, different guy. Lady Sif, Jamie Alexander, she did come back. And then you have Captain Marvel showing up at the very end, played by Alexandra Daniels. Like, you're shooting Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels, right now. Brie Larson wasn't available. Like, we had a whole pandemic where Brie Larson, I don't follow her YouTube channel, but apparently she started a YouTube channel doing a whole bunch of stuff because she was bored out of her skull. Meanwhile, probably doing pre-production meetings for your upcoming movie, but you couldn't get in one line from her on a Skype call or whatever. Like, I mean, I know it's not that easy, but you can ship people microphones now and tell them to hook it up in their computer and have a pretty good quality. It's just weird how much these differences in voice actors stand out because they're next to an actor who did come back. Like, honestly, if they had said, we're going to do an animated show and we're going to get our own voice cast and, we're going to do, it's the characters, but because of budgets or whatever, we're not going to do the existing actors. I feel like that would be fine. And you would just take it from the get-go and in episode 1, you'd be like, all right, that's cool. We got different people voicing the characters, no big deal. If they're doing impressions or whatever, okay, fine. Like, even Tom Hiddleston came back as Loki. Like, his show just wrapped up. He's invested with the Marvel Universe. Good for him, right? But it just stands out that these other actors didn't come back. It's just, I honestly, I feel like at this point I would rather them do a totally different voice cast, just get existing voice actors, because even Nick Fury, like, as much as I love Sam Jackson, I felt like his, and I don't know, this could be the animation as well too. It's, it is expressive, but it's not over expressive. And I think maybe that does animation some favors sometimes, because you don't have the nuances of the real human face to sell those emotions. You have to be over expressive in your voice and over expressive with the animation to get everything across. And they're not doing that here. Sam Jackson to me was kind of flat in this episode. Even Michael Douglas. You got Michael Douglas to come back as Hank Pym. Are you kidding me? Like, that's an achievement, but man, the animation and the voice acting just let his performance down. It just felt like it was like sapped of energy. Like, they should have turned the volume up a little bit, or, been like, hey, Michael, go do some jumping jacks, like 5 or something, and then come back in their booth and do this recording. So I don't know what the situation was. Maybe they did it over COVID and they did mail everybody microphones and stuff. Who knows? But there's definitely a lack of energy in the show from the voice actors who do come back. I feel like because they're only film actors or TV actors, and they haven't done any voice work before or been properly coached. Like, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head who's doing the voice direction. You know, for this cast, but man, you really got to tell these guys to turn it up a notch, like to sell this stuff, because it is not coming across very well. And when you have an episode like this that is very so and doesn't have any real memorable moments of anything or really shocking moments, like, your voice cast is going to let you down because there's nothing in the story, there's nothing in the animation to save your episode. And then when your voice cast is mediocre and so in terms of their performance, their quality, you're just going to let yourself down. So it'll be interesting to see how this show goes. Like, is this going to be the least popular MCU show? Like, to me, it was the most interesting concept wise, but if it's the least popular because it is like not that good, I don't know if it will get a second season. Like, you got to feel like all this stuff ripples into the next thing, right? We came out of Loki. Some people were really high on Loki. Some people, like myself, really weren't. And I went into this, and I really liked episode 1, and now it seems like we're on the downward slope of quality for What If. So I really hope they do redeem themselves next week, but I feel like they got a lot of work to do to really crank it up. If they're gonna do, I think it's more than 6 or 8 episodes. I think they're doing 10 or 12 on this one. So you got to crank up the energy a whole lot, or give me some really interesting what if ideas, because this idea is just basically like, well, yeah, if the Avengers never assembled, of course Loki's gonna take over the Earth. Like, it's just not very imaginative, and usually the what if stories were a bigger left turn than what this ended up being. So yeah, this episode was okay. I'm not really feeling this show right now. I'll still watch and review in every episode and hope that since it is something new every week, it'll get better and better. But man, you really gotta try hard with these what if issues in the comics, and I think the same can be said for this TV series. You really gotta try hard and think of something really fucking cool to hit people in every week. I think the ideas matter more in this type of show because it's an anthology rather than like a single show where you have one idea over the entire season. You have one story you're telling, and you find different beats to hammer home and give people on this like roller coaster ride that we saw with WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, which were phenomenal. I love both of those, but man, there's no arcs here. It's so quick and so idea based that yeah, your characters are going to let you down, especially if the voice actors, the real actors aren't up to doing the voice acting. It's called voice acting. You got to act with your voice. And if you're just showing up to turn in your performance that's contractually obligated, it's not going to be that good. So, I don't know. What did you guys think of this episode? Let me know in the comments down below, and we will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages. I will be back in the man cave a couple videos from now, probably, and you will see me back home very, very soon. So thank you guys for watching, staying here on BK's Bullets. Stay tuned. We will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages, as I said.